Hello, everybody, and welcome to Skate 3 Arena in Nashua. Actually, it's Conway
They're changing
Arena.
it up on you.
The Conway Arena in Nashua. Excuse me, it's the home of Nashua High North and South. And today we do have a hockey doubleheader. It is the South-Pelham Kings going up against the Bedford Bulldogs to begin the doubleheader, and then it'll be followed by North against Bishop Girton. I'm John Collins along with Matt Neverett. It is a really frigid winter day outside. It is Super Bowl 52 Eve. Not too bad inside, though, Matt. You've been in hockey arenas all over the place this winter, and it's almost comfortable in here.
Yeah, not too bad. They got us nice and high up here. They say heat rises, and I'll take it as far away from the ice as we can get today.
So we have South, who will be playing in the net to our left, and the Bedford Bulldogs, kind of an imposing team in all black and red numerals, Matt. Clearly, it appears Bedford is the favorite in this one.
Yeah, Bedford coming in with a 6-3 record, coming off a 7-5 win against Exeter, played at St. Anselm. So they're coming in on a bit of a hot streak, and you look at them compared to some of these teams today. Bedford a 6-2 win over the North Souhegan team a couple of weeks ago, and a 4-1 loss to Bishop Girton, who we will see taking on North later on. So Bedford playing some similar opponents to this South-Pelham team and defeating them pretty handily. And again, that 7-5 win against Exeter at St. A's in front of some college scouts. So a big win for them and a big team coming in. We were saying earlier that, you know, everybody looks big in hockey gear, but Bedford an imposing physical team already.
Certainly true. And the opening face-off is won by South-Pelham, and they shoot it down into the Bedford zone. 15-minute periods in New Hampshire high school hockey, and we are just underway. First period action here at the Conway. Partial 2-on-1 and nearly a scoring chance in the first 20 seconds for Bedford. Just went by the far post. Nolan Lacroix, the goalie for South-Pelham, number 30. Tested early, saves there, rebound was kind of juicy, but it was shot away by Nolan Harvey, the defenseman number 3, and into the neutral zone. Partial breakaway now for Johnny Pinkston, and he shoots it wide of the goal.
A good opportunity early on, and already some back and forth, each team with at least one scoring chance, and we'll see Bedford making the first line change, a fresh new fivesome on the ice for them. Nolan
Harvey shoots it into the corner, takes a check from Kyle Greer of the Bedford Bulldogs, number 2. Shooting it back into the zone, Joshua Kinghorn. It'll be a delayed offside. It's waved off as Bedford makes a rush. Kyle Greer, number 2, cross-ice pass in the high slot. Threatening one of the co-captains of this team is Zachary Bayer, number 15. Bayer tried the one-timer, and he fanned on the shot. Shot around behind the net by Tyler Martin, but not out of the zone. Bedford keeping up the pressure early. Oh, whistle. First penalty, perhaps, of the game.
Yeah, looked to be behind the play and looks to be a cross-checking minor here early on. So whatever advantage on the attack Bedford had early, it's only going to increase as we'll see Josh Kinghorn head to the box here for 2.
Yeah, good call on the cross-check, Matt. It is indeed a 2-minute cross-checking penalty on Joshua Kinghorn. And as you said, you can expect the pressure by the Bulldogs only to be magnified for the next 2 minutes. Parker Roberto taking the face-off, and he shoots it right on net. Nearly got a goal from the face-off, a la Derek Sanderson on Montreal way back when. You don't see too many centers try that, but it can work. It has worked multiple times in the NHL, shooting the puck right off the face-off at the goalie. Gloved at the blue line and kept in by the Bulldogs. John Giroux, number 22, the defenseman, but now South manages to ice it. Half a minute gone in the power play for Bedford as they come confidently down the ice. Zach Bayer, co-captain, goes into the corner, drops it for Parker Roberto. Roberto back to the point. Waiting there is Zach Bayer. Bayer cruising, wrister in the high slot, saved. Loose puck, and it is shot out of the zone.
And one thing we've seen from this South-Pelham team early on is the calm demeanor when they're in crunch time, down low with the puck in the crease, and especially here on the penalty kill, just doing a good job of clearing the danger and establishing some kind of a defensive zone here. You see a diamond look for them, really 2 up and 2 down. Now rotating to more of the square as they cover the blue line.
Looking for that quality shot. Under a minute left in the power play. The net has come loose. And that has been a problem here at the Conway. The goal to our left, it's not, the moorings are not the best.
Have to cut some new holes for that.
In fact, we've seen goalies get issued warnings from the officials for shouldering the post. And as you call many games, Matt, you know that's routine technique for a lot of goalies. They find the post, they kind of like rub up against it. But even the slightest nudge can knock this net loose, and sometimes it's under questionable circumstances. This may kill off much of the rest of this penalty as South-Pelham manages to ice it. And a steal, that's Joe Moore on the fine cross-check, making life difficult for Bedford, trying to come out of their own zone and take advantage of the final 20 seconds of this power play. Intercepted in the center ice area. Dante Young with the nice forecheck at center ice. Only 10 seconds remains on the power play, but Bedford has it in the offensive zone, putting the brakes on. Kyle Greer, number 2, around the boards it goes, but not out. Shooting it back in the corner. The penalty is up. The goaltender for Bedford letting his team know that there's a player loose deep, and it's a clear breakaway for Riley Nutter. Makes the move. The net comes loose, and they'll have to blow it dead. They don't yet. The net is way off its moorings. He's shooting at a net that's like way off. And it went on for about 10 seconds after that. And nearly, that would have been a controversial goal right there had that gone past.
Yeah, for sure. I was wondering if they had seen that. They obviously didn't until late. But a good job there from Riley Nutter of reestablishing, coming out of the 5-on-4 back to even strength. And he came flying off the bench and into some open space. And a little too aggressive as it led to the bench now. Too many men on the ice.
Well, it's still early, but South-Pelham's played some good hockey so far, Matt.
Yeah, Bedford came out as the aggressor early on, and nice save there. But it's been a good job by Nashua South and Pelham to respond, play good defense, because that's what it all starts with, and to really evade the danger on the PK. Got to evade the power play of the other team, and that starts in the defensive end for you.
Bedford goaltender Connor Laurendo, number 33, has been tested here early, and he's been equal to the shots that he's faced. A 0-0 hockey game, almost 5 minutes through. We're seeing a Bedford player get loose deep ahead of the field. Not able to turn it into a shot on goal, though. Number 29, Brian Greer, deep in the corner. Coming out of the corner with it, there's a backhander. Bedford hits their own player with the shot, and it goes around the boards and out. That was Cambal Vedya, number 10, who was in the slot, took the backhander but hit his own player for Bedford. So no shot on goal, still 0-0 with 10:10 left in the first period. Up and down action. Harvey throws it up on ahead to Matt DiPrizio. DiPrizio over the blue line, has it taken off his stick, goes behind the net, sealing the near point, or trying to, was number 9, Matt DiPrizio. Puck fought for, it's loose, shot, save is made by Laurendo. Nolan Harvey was in point blank from the face-off circle area, and he had a clear shot that Laurendo stopped.
Good composure from Laurendo early on, a couple of breakaway chances, and he's been great with the legs, and we'll see if he can keep that up.
Heavy hit in the corner, both players slow to get up. Puck goes around the boards but not out. And another chance, potential breakaway here for Matt DiPrizio, but good hustle getting back by defenseman John Giroux, number 22, just got in the way. Parker Roberto tried to poke at it and get past Harvey, but nothing doing there, as the captain and senior defenseman for South has been an impact player so far in this game.
And one thing early, John, 9 minutes to go left in the first period, is that Bedford a lot shorter on their shifts. For South-Pelham, we'll see how that affects them at the end of their shifts, but Bedford getting guys on and off the ice a lot quicker than their foe today.
That could be a good point to look out for. A fatigue factor could play a role later in this period even. Around the boards, trying to get it out to DiPrizio, plays it up and out. A foot race here. Bedford first back to get it. It's Parker Joyce on defense. That is an icing against the Bulldogs. Up and down action, 8.5 minutes left to go, first period.
And one thing I've noticed is that there has not been a lot of play in the neutral zone. It's been just a lot of offensive and defensive zone work, lots of long passes to enter the attacking zone, really from both sides. The game plan has been similar. Each side has had about the similar number of breakaway chances. It's really been back and forth thus far with 8:27 to go in the first period.
Clean win on the face-off for South-Pelham, and the Kings slapper from the point by Riley Nutter, gloved and then thrown aside by Lorendo. Puck still in the offensive zone. Now out. Chance for a breakaway here. Kyle Greer bearing in. Tough angle. Save is made. Looking behind him, but he had it. He had it. That was Nolan Lacroix with the nice save near side left post.
And that puck bouncing around off the stick of Kyle Greer, and a good job dropping back and taking away that angle by the defense of South-Pelham. That was his only shot, was to go to that near side, and a good job from Lacroix, like you said earlier, shouldering that post and hugging it, not allowing any space for it to sneak by.
Both of these goalies are looking good early. Nolan Lacroix for South-Pelham and Connor Lorendo for Bedford. They look like the kind of goalies, Matt, that you have to make them move their feet or go side to side to beat them.
Yeah, the way that they've attacked them so far is not going to work. You're going to have some passes across the crease.
Yeah, and make them move. Deep penetration here by South-Pelham around the net, trying to centering pass Joe Moore. It gets deflected back behind the net. And Bedford trying to move out of their own zone. They can't because of the solid forechecking effort by South-Pelham. Puck at the blue line. Player goes down, but a good non-call there, I think. Cross-ice pass comes to Ryan DeSimone. Battling with the defenseman, Matthew Mirabile. Number 11 for Bedford. Near side boards to the neutral zone and back in. Matt DiPrizio, but that was offside. They'll have a face-off just outside the Bedford zone.
Just missed it. Got a little bit too cute with the stick work, trying to enter that offensive zone. Can't do too much in terms of the deking and getting around the defenders at the blue line. When it comes down to that and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play, you pretty much just have to get it across any way you can and then try to figure out a way to repossess the puck afterwards.
Our cameraman for today's game is Tim O'Neill, joining myself, John Collins, and Matt Neverett, as we are ringside on February 3rd of 2018. We are on the eve of yet another Patriots Super Bowl.
Very excited, very excited. Self-plug, Smart Money Sports, my radio show. We're doing a Super Bowl special tomorrow. Get all your prop bets in. I'll tell you how to win money.
What time is that?
9 to 11 tomorrow morning on WSMN 1590 AM,
nice.
WSMN1590.com.
Really interesting prop bets. That should be a good show.
Oh, there's
too
many to count from,
yeah. So through center ice now, Bedford trying to make a bid here for the game's first goal. In the slot, shot off the post. That was number 20, Jack Sylvain, who had a golden opportunity and just missed.
Had the opening on the net, like you said. They had to get the goalies moving side to side. Was able to get Lacroix to move, and just too fine on the shot off the near side post.
That was, well, hockey's just like a lot of sports, a game of inches. That was about, I'd say, 1 inch too far to the right, or would have ricocheted into the net instead of going wide left. Bedford putting the pressure on again. Can't get a shot away that trip down the rink, as the Bulldogs get a line change, as do South-Pelham changing up. In the first and third periods here at the Conway, your team bench is in the defensive zone. It's in the second period where line changes can get tricky often, where you are quite a distance from your defensive zone and you can get caught up ice. Nolan Harvey trying to rush from his backline defensive position. Gets thrown offside by some stand-up defense at the blue line, and it'll be a face-off just outside the Bedford zone.
Yeah, and you brought it up, those line changes, especially late into the game in that second period and later on into the third. We'll see the advantage for Bedford in the numbers game is there, and the fact that they're going a lot shorter shifts because of it. So we'll see how that affects the fatigue factor later on. As of right now, it's been even for both sides with 5:56 to go in the first.
Well, the officials are sparing South-Pelham of a too many men on the ice penalty there, because they had 6 just before the face-off, but the referee took the blame on that one and whistled it. 2-on-1 try. Lacroix keeps that right pad out there and makes the stop.
What a look. They were trying to go back to Greer on a little give-and-go play, entering the slot, and Lacroix just sticking that leg out there, and it got caught in the paraphernalia, and thankfully so, he got the save and the cover, and we'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Bulldogs.
Interesting discussion after the play between, it's another breakaway right off the faceoff. There's a loose puck. Lacroix made the save but wasn't sure where it was. Bedford keeping it in. That's when skips past the right side of the goal. Behind the net, losing the puck. The Bulldogs get it back, trying to stuff it near side. Lacroix holding the fort. And again, it's number 16, Nolan Foss, getting into it a bit with Joseph San Clemente of Bedford. An aggressive forward, number 37.
And the ice starting to tilt to the left just a little bit.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It was pretty even. It was Bedford at first, and then it evened up, and now Bedford with a lot more chances here in the last 2 minutes or so, as they've had the time on attack advantage really throughout this whole first period thus far.
5:29 to go first period. We have been looking to our left a little bit. As Bedford keeping the pressure on in the offensive zone in a 5-on-5 situation.
It's just because the forecheck has been so good. South-Pelham is struggling to clear the zone, as we saw there.
And again here, puck behind the South-Pelham net. Bedford threatening with a centering pass, goes back to the point instead. Tim Spencer at the point, in up the boards, and it's shot out by Tyler Martin, number 14, but right back in. Campbell Vadia, number 10, leading the attack there for Bedford. South-Pelham, Tyler Martin, trying to go 1-on-2 here. Somehow Bedford gets 2 players back. They do not get caught off ice, and they get back on defense.
Yeah, that all plays into those line changes. The speed aspect can stay a lot deeper into games when you're only playing 40-second shifts or so.
It goes off the skate of the South-Pelham defenseman, and it aids the rush of Bedford. The centering pass, though, knocked away. Good back-checking defense by forward Joe Moore, number 12, to knock that one out of the danger zone. But Bedford still has it in the offensive zone. Playing some catch along the board. Centering pass. Lacroix tries to pounce down on it, but it's a little bit outside of his reach, and Bedford keeps it in off the glass and out. Settling for an icing if he had to get it there was Nolan Harvey, but it was gloved by a Bedford player. South-Pelham can't control it in their own zone. Bedford trying a wraparound play here. Back to the point, pinching up for the Bulldogs. Jack Sylvain, number 20, centering pass. And again, a back-checking defender intercepts. That was Riley Nutter. Long pass, going to find Johnny Pinkston. A 1-on-3 situation, though, as he got late help, but he got hooked. Apparently, it's going to be the first penalty of the game against Bedford, and a power play, 2 minutes for hooking against Bedford, will put South-Pelham on the man advantage for the next 2.
And the limited special teams play so far, just the one penalty going against South-Pelham early on. We'll get a chance to see it on the other side, as this is where I think that South-Pelham can have a chance with a power play goal here to really steal a lot of the momentum. It's been all Bedford over the last handful of minutes, and they have a chance here before the period ends to really get a lot of that back.
DiPrizio, one-timer. Oh, that was a great opportunity for Joe Moore right in the slot, as good puck movement by South-Pelham's power play, but got blocked, I think.
And that's what you got to do against this Bedford team. They're fast, they're pretty big, so you have to make a lot of quick one-touch or no-touch passes in the offensive zone when you're on the power play and not turn it over like we see there.
It's going to be a one-on-one battle here. Number 26 is Nathan Musgrave, and he shoots it wide. That was San Clemente in the box, 2 minutes for hooking.
Well, and that's one of those necessary penalties, almost like a guy driving the lane in basketball. You don't want to let him have an easy shot,
right.
So you got to get the body into him, and in this case, just the stick wrapping around Nutter just a little bit too much.
Just enough to draw the penalty. Riley Nutter got a shot away, but it was deflected to the right. 1 minute left in the power play, a whistle, and what do we have here? The puck was loose.
Yeah, it bounced up into the netting behind the glass. One thing I'd like to see change here, John, in the offensive game, especially on the power play for South-Pelham, is work it a little bit more into the corners. Really dig it in there, slow down the pace, because Bedford, even with the one-man disadvantage, is beating them up and down the ice, as we see a chance here, and should be a cover. You know, we'll get a stoppage with 2:29 to go. If you take it into the corners, it spreads that defense out, and the limited success that South-Pelham relatively has had thus far has been when they spread the defense and find an open man over the middle.
Bedford, the defending champions in New Hampshire Boys Division I ice hockey. In fact, they have won 5 out of the last 6 years. And they were in Division II for a while. They won 3 straight championships in Division II before moving up to Division I believe, in 2014 or 15. It might have been 15. And they took a year off from the playoffs before winning the championship in 2016 and 17. So an impressive hockey program for the Bedford High Bulldogs. When they come into your building, they expect to win. But right now, it's 0-0, thanks in part to South-Pelham being on a power play as they try to score first here. It's 15 seconds left to go in the man advantage, but Bedford able to get it out.
And really, since that first drive on the ice with the man up, and South-Pelham not able to do anything. Bedford really settling in on the defensive end and turning it into offense, which you don't see a lot on the shorthand.
Kyle, actually that's 27 with the puck for Eric Flynn, who took it away from South-Pelham, nearly turned it into a scoring opportunity. Good steal by Dante Young. He flips it in. Got some personnel change-ups for both teams. That could be icing. It was a no more man advantage.
It was
but
right before that clock
was
ran
it?
out, I think. Yeah,
okay,
looked like
he
it.
got it under the wire. Steal, Bedford in deep. A giveaway, trying to go fourth floor there, and instead he threw it up into the netting and over the goaltender, Lacroix. There was an opening up there, Matt, but the shot was high.
Yeah, it was a tough angle shot, and it would have been a nice look for Sylvain to really bury that one in the top shelf. Just a little bit too fine on the shot, and we'll get a neutral zone face-off.
1:06 to go in the period. South-Pelham has played the defending champs top 0-0 as Bill Thorpe, the public address announcer, makes the announcement. Less than a minute to play now. Puck in the Bedford zone. They go behind the net, but not out. Intercepted by South-Pelham. And not able to keep it in that corner as you recommended. That would have been the play to make there. Instead, it's a partial 2-on-1. And it's going to almost be a breakaway. Sylvain was ahead of the field, but he just couldn't reach that pass. A wrister goes off of a South-Pelham player in front that hit the shin pads of Nolan Foss. He made the save. DiPriccio, chip and chase into the corner. Has it, circling. DiPriccio, though, the giveaway. And now Bedford's on the attack just like that with 15 seconds to go. Last second opportunity, perhaps, for the Bulldogs. And we have a penalty coming up against Bedford for a high stick. That will play a role in the start of the second period.
Yeah, and talk about an opportunity to begin the second period. Just 8.6 seconds left in the first of three today as Sylvain heads to the box. But South-Pelham looked about even, if not in advantage there for the first time on that power play chance. So they'll get another one here. Basically a full 2 minutes to start out the second period. It'll be 1:52 technically. But
you mentioned, Matt, the first penalty Bedford took, kind of a good penalty in that they didn't give up the easy layup.
That one was the opposite.
Unnecessary, right? That was the opposite.
Yeah,
so
time winding out in your offensive zone. Really just no need for that. For Sylvain, who's had a couple of good outings so far and a good performance today, really just an unnecessary one to end the first period.
Nate Musgrave chasing after that puck, but time ran out before he could get a shot away. It is 0-0, and I would say when you're going into the dressing room against the defending champs, 0-0 with a power play up on the board to start the second period, you get the advantage for the moment.
Yeah, not a bad look, and if they can come out of that locker room out of this first period break and sneak one in there on the power play, that would change the entire momentum of this game.
That's Matt Neverett. I'm John Collins. Our cameraman is Tim O'Neill. You're watching NashuaETV's broadcast of a South and North boys doubleheader here at Conway. The first game, South-Pelham Kings 0 and Bedford 0 after one period of play. We'll be back with more exciting action right after this quick break.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Conway Arena. It's period number 2, South-Pelham versus the defending New Hampshire Boys Division I champion Bedford Bulldogs. We are scoreless after one, and South-Pelham is starting the second period on the power play. John Collins with Matt Neverett. Blocker saved by Lorendo. The Bedford goalie immediately under siege. It's looking good right now for South-Pelham, Matt.
Yeah, and if I'm South-Pelham, I come out with an onslaught here in the second period. You've got fresh legs, you've got the man advantage, and you're playing Bedford even through one, which is basically a win already. So I say take your risks, take all your shots, try everything here you can early on, but it's got to be in the first minute of the period.
That wrister by Nolan Harvey looked more designed as a pass than a shot, but it went wide to the left and nobody touched it.
And they're in the corners here, which I like to see.
Setting up in the corners, Matt's offensive strategy recommendation, but they lost the handle at the point. Harvey uncharacteristically bobbles one, and Bedford able to poke it down the length of the ice. 1 minute left to go in the power play for South-Pelham. They got a hooking call against Bedford with 8 seconds left to go in the first to get this man advantage coming right out of the chute in period number 2. That puck is played off the boards and out to the center ice zone. Nolan Harvey skates it over the line. He's been an impact player so far, breaking in front. Harvey tried to go it alone and stuff it in, but it's saved by Lorendo.
Lorendo hugging that post with the left leg, and look at this 2-on-1 coming the other way.
Breakaway, Zach Bayer makes a move, save, but the follow through and the goal. The net was loose. Is the net loose? It is, but they're still going to count it.
We'll see what the timing looks like. I don't know if they can go back and change that retroactively. For now, referee signaling that it was in. Not too often, if you're Kyle Greer, that you're going to get 3 chances on it like that. A couple of whiffs in a row before putting it in, and I'm not sure that he got that in before that net got dislodged, and that's what they're over there talking to the South-Pelham bench about. I don't think you can go back and change this, though.
It depends, and the South-Pelham is upset. They know that the post was loose before the third chance that he had to put it in, and it looks like the call's going to go against him.
Yeah, the assistant coach is out of their mind, besides themselves, down there on the bench, and
yeah,
this one might take a minute to sort out. And John, like I said, I don't really know if they can go back and change it. I think, because this isn't the NHL, the call on the ice is going to stand.
You can see by the gesticulations of the coaching staff for South-Pelham, Bedford's fans trying to interject themselves into the argument, saying you have to blow the whistle in order to have a disallowed goal. I'm not so sure that's true, especially if you talk it over later and say that the net was loose for a good 2-3 seconds before that puck went across the line.
And I'm not sure, as this argument kind of wages on, I'm not sure exactly what you can say to change the referee's mind. Obviously, you can voice your opinion that the puck was, or that the net was dislodged rather, but it's your word versus his. He's going to say yes, you're going to say no. And that's where it's going to stand, and it looks like that goal will stand. So
right.
Kyle Greer.
They're not going to go back and change it. Zach Bayer with the assist. Kyle Greer with the goal. And just standing there alone, unfortunately for South-Pelham, they had the power play, and they got outnumbered on that breakout. Nolan Harvey, as they look for the equalizer now with 10 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Still 5-on-4 in favor of South-Pelham as they surrender the game's first goal. It was shorthanded by Bedford. The one-timer trying to set up like Ovechkin here near side Moore, but he missed it.
Ovechkin had one of those last night.
Did he?
A 7-4 loss to the Penguins. It was 4-4 at one point before the defending 2-time Stanley Cup champions put a couple of goals in late, 2 goals from Malkin, and yeah, that one for Ovechkin was right from that slot, setting up in the office, as they like to say.
Centering pass, Moore from Harvey. It was a great try. Comes all the way back to the defensive blue line while Riley Nutter shoots it on up ahead. That has become Ovechkin's signature play there, that shot on the one-timer from near the face-off circle. So we didn't expect that was going to happen, although Bedford's a dangerous team, but they came out shorthanded and they scored the first goal on the penalty kill.
Well, a team like Bedford can do that with the mystique around the program and how good they have been over the last couple of years in D2 and in D1 as a shot misses wide in front. They have an opportunity to score really at any given time.
Riley Nutter trying to team up with Matt DiPrizio and Dante Young. The line for South-Pelham here is pretty good, but they're going to need some production from them if South-Pelham's going to come up with the upset. This line that was out there, now South-Pelham, the Kings change up, and Bedford trying to take advantage here with the puck in the offensive zone. The wrister save is made by Lacroix, and it's cleared out of the zone. Potential breakaway. Slowing down, though, Jacob Smith as he came off of the bench. He had a chance to turn around and go. Bedford penetrating shot, goal! A 2-on-none it developed into. The assist from number 14, Jake San Clemente. And I believe the goal scorer was number 39, Parker Roberto.
Yeah, leading that charge, and right place, right time, just kind of grabbing that pass near the goal line. Made one quick move that beat Lacroix, and here's the Bedford that we were expecting. Now they're up 2-0 on that even strength goal. 11:29 to play in the middle period.
So Parker Roberto makes it a 2-0 Bedford lead as they are asserting themselves here in period number 2. The defending champs with the superior record coming in. Lacrosse saw that wrister all the way from the blue line and directed the puck to the corner, but keeping the pressure on San Clemente, who just had that fine assist on the Roberto goal, and he almost did it again. They almost teamed up to set up Roberto for another goal. Save is made. And Bedford relentless on the attack. Roberto shot, goal! Teaming up, Parker Roberto has his second goal on this same shift for the Bedford Bulldogs. That was assisted by Jack Sylvain. 3-0 Bedford.
That one even easier than the first one. Just a 2-on-1 chance, and a good job by Sylvain of waiting to get behind the defender. Just threw it across the face of Lacroix. Didn't have a chance to reach that stick out and poke it away, and about as easy a finish for Roberto as you're going to get.
You know, Lacroix was not fooled by that, Matt, but it just happened so fast.
Not a lot that you can do.
Exactly. It just was great execution by Bedford on offense there to take a 3-0 lead in an eye blink. It seems like it was 0-0 at the end of one. We have played less than 5 minutes here in the second period, and an outburst by the Bedford offense, and there you see the score.
And one thing that we've noticed here as there's an icing call is that the game's been flowing. Just a lot of back and forth. Not too many stoppages in that first period. So for both sides, really just getting guys up and over the boards, and a good flow to the game so far.
Wraparound try and a good save with the right pad by the goaltender Lorendo.
I don't know if they got to dig those moorings a little bit deeper or what, but that's on both ends now, not just at this near side.
It doesn't take a lot of pressure to dislodge the nets here at the Conway, unfortunately, and it has an impact on every game we've seen.
It was all about that flow that I was talking about.
Yep. Joe San Clemente, number 37, trying to team up with Kyle Greer, number 2 for Bedford, showing that great speed down the ice. It's a good skating ability that these Bulldogs have. Nolan Harvey clears it around the boards, but not out. Joe Moore has it. Intercepted by the Bulldogs. Centering pass just off the stick of number 15, Zach Bayer. Greer's shot misses wide and to the high to the right.
I think he was surprised by how much space he had there and just ripped it high.
Yeah, he kind of rushed it. He had all day if he wanted it.
I definitely think that caught him off guard, how much space he had in front of him.
5-on-5, but it feels like a power play right now for the Bulldogs. They're setting up in the offensive zone with space. That's a tipped shot that goes off the rear glass. South-Pelham trying desperately to get out of their own zone. Instead, it's a scoring chance and a shot. Great save by Lacroix. He held the short side on basically a 2-on-none that developed in the scrum in the middle of the bodies down in the ice.
And now the physical play starting to come out of the Bedford Bulldogs, and it's taking place on the forecheck where they've already had the advantage today.
That is deflected off a Bedford stick, so it is not icing. Foot race, and Bedford's going to get to it first down in their defensive zone. Number 9 is Parker Joyce with it. Number 9, Matt DiPrizio for South-Pelham in the white and blue jersey. DiPrizio steals it, but he's got to beat a 1-on-3, and he gets checked to the ice. Shot away by Joshua Kinghorn, misses wide to the left. Harvey goes to the opposite diagonal first to get it. Pinkston tries to center it. He does. DiPrizio fanned on the shot. Great opportunity for South-Pelham to get their first goal there.
Yeah, DiPrizio might have got it off the heel of the stick. Didn't quite get all of it, as he would have had a good look, and another one there as he can't find it at the feet.
Intercepted by Cam Weisilak, number 12 for Bedford. Good job of bringing it back into the offensive zone. Nutter gets a nice shot away. DiPrizio shot hits the apron to the left as he had a moment there where the left side of the net was open. Pressure, Riley Nutter's shot saved by Lorendo. Into the corner, he directs the rebound. Loose puck in front, and Lorendo manages to cover up in the scramble.
Yeah, phenomenal job of just covering that up. A dangerous puck bouncing around in the crease. And for South-Pelham, we've seen the offense in spurts today. Have not been able to get that consistent effort. really in and out. The power play is when they've been able to generate a lot of their chances. And you see right there, once they get it into that offensive zone, they're able to keep it there for a while. But the struggle is getting out of their defensive zone when Bedford is really trying and getting close to the goal.
Yeah, Riley Nutter's line, number 21 for South-Pelham. They've been good. They just haven't been able to finish one of these scoring opportunities that Nutter's been leading the charge on offense when he's been out there, but a lot of it depends on who your opponent is. This South-Pelham team has put up some nice goal totals, but there's another chance for Bedford. The puck bounced over the stick of the would-be goal scorer, Roberto. That would have been his hat trick right there.
That would have been the hattie right there, but just bouncing over, and fortunate for Lacroix and the rest of that defense, but still not out of the woods yet.
No, as they keep it in the zone just barely. That was Ryan DeSimone running into the defenseman John Giroux at the blue line. Giroux won the battle. Loose puck, loose stick on the ice as the puck slides just out of the zone.
Injured Bedford Bulldog.
Oh yeah, slow to go off the ice. Believe that was number 22?
Maybe Jack Sylvain, number 20.
Or more 20, Jack Sylvain, one of the two.
Took a hard shot
in the corner. Yeah, it was not 22 because John Drew's still out there. Here comes Bedford back on the attack. Good back checking though by South-Pelham as they take the puck away from the Bulldog forward. Deflected wrister from the point. First down to get it is Jake San Clemente, number 14, throws it behind the net. South-Pelham first on it. Heavy hit. There's an elbow. That could be called, but they let it go. The elbow got high there from John Giroux as he leveled number 8, Ryan DeSimone.
Letting the boys play. I like it.
Yeah,
really,
I've
not seen too much of that physical aspect, but it's been Bedford, if there has been any at all, really the aggressor in terms of taking it to the boards.
There's a wrister, goes off the side of the net. Greer is first to get it. The drop pass, though, to nobody. As South-Pelham comes away with it. Nolan Harvey has it. And he shoots it to the center ice area trying to find DiPrizio, but it was intercepted by co-captain for the Bulldogs, Zach Bayer, number 15. Pass, one-timer by Eric Flynn, number 27, was blocked before it got to the goaltender, Lacroix. Loose stick still annoying some people in the defensive zone.
Yeah, Harvey sent that to the far side boards immediately.
So Johnny Pinkston can't get a shot away, and Bedford back on the attack. 5.5 minutes to go, second period. It has been a very good second period for the Bulldogs. It was 0-0 after one, and they came out, scored 3 goals within a span of 5 minutes to begin the second period. 2 of them by Parker Roberto of the Bulldogs. South-Pelham still looking for their first goal. This has been their best line on offense. Pinkston's trying to center it to DiPrizio, can't get it there. Bedford breaking out of their own zone, off the boards and no icing. Behind the net it goes. Nolan Lacroix, the goaltender for South's, had some spectacular saves, but under tremendous pressure, holding the near side there. Point blank look for the Bulldogs, but no goal that time down the ice. Back to take away that 5-minute period, and that one might have got off the glove of Lacroix. Goes off the glass. Bedford setting up the one-timer, and it missed to the left or was deflected to the near boards. South-Pelham gets it out. Shot back behind the net. We're still waiting for that whistle so we can get rid of that stick.
There's 2 of them out there now.
Is there 2?
Yeah, there's one behind the net and then one on the far side.
I don't think they're broken, are they?
No, just a couple of drops, and now we'll finally get that stoppage. As there was a lot of back and forth there, flowing action going to both sides, and South-Pelham kind of giving back some of that momentum as Bedford's been the much better team in terms of passing the puck in the offensive zone.
It is hockey season as we begin the month of February. It's February 3rd of 2018. Of course, the Winter Olympics are about to begin. We have a local gal in the Winter Olympics from Hudson, New Hampshire, Callie Flanagan, whose dad, Bill Flanagan, is a co-owner of the Northern Cyclones. Matt Neverett, my partner, does games for the Cyclones. You know Bill Flanagan, don't you?
Yeah, he's the head coach of the NCDC, that top team. So I've gotten a chance to interview him on air a handful of times. He's a good guy and a good general manager of that program, and one that has an Olympian this year. Yeah,
no, he is genuinely, deservedly very proud of Callie, 22 years old. She's a Boston College. I think she's going to be a senior. She's taken a year off to join the USA Women's Olympic Ice Hockey team, who have a tough bracket. They have Finland and Russia, and I think they open against Finland on February 11. And you see Callie Flanagan on TV. She is from Hudson, New Hampshire. Her dad, Bill, her stepmom, Debbie. She began playing hockey, I believe, at Cyclones Arena when she was 3 years old. And now 22, playing for her country in South Korea. That's a fantastic story, and we wish the best of luck for her. Another rooting interest that we have. Lacroix might have got a knob of the stick on that shot from the point. 3-0. Take away those 5 minutes, and this is a scoreless game still.
Yeah, really, just a couple momentary lapses in effort from South-Pelham has resulted in this lopsided score.
Nolan Lacroix, the South-Pelham goalie, has been locked in for the entire game and has kept it close. Still within striking distance here. South-Pelham can score the next goal, but Bedford, glove save and a beauty by Lacroix. Bedford has the next best chance to score with this kind of pressure.
Yeah, just a quick snap of the trapper, making it look easy. Always good to see that the goalie is locked in with that effortless glove save.
I'm going to call South-Pelham's first goal on this shift, Matt.
You think so?
Yep. 2:57 to go. You got Riley Nutter's line out there with Nolan Harvey on defense, Matt DiPrizio. And here comes Riley Nutter. Nice shift into the offensive zone. He's got it. Deflected shot off the rear glass first to get it. It's DiPrizio, wins the race to the puck. To the blue line, deflected in front. Loose puck. Deflected over the goalie, and not really behind him, though, and Bedford is able to come out. Nolan Harvey just leveled the Bedford forward. They're going to call a penalty on that. Unfortunately for Harvey, I think he got called for being big on that one. He was standing still when he hit him, so I don't know quite what you can call on this.
Yeah, Campbell Vadia.
What is he going to call? A punch?
A charging? I don't
Roughing?
know.
I'm not sure what that fist indication is. Actually, you know what, Matt? I've got stuff right here. If you see anything that resembles a punching motion. Tripping? No.
I couldn't have been tripping there.
No.
Oh, it's going to be roughing, yeah.
Roughing.
And like you said, I think that he got penalized there for being big, but nonetheless, it's going to set up Bedford's second power play.
I know, and so dangerous on 5-on-5. Now you give him a man advantage with a 3-0 lead.
And the momentum's way different than the first handful of minutes when they got their first penalty.
And you got number 39, Parker Roberto, out on the power play looking for one-timer.
Oh, setting up from the office.
It was roughing.
There you go.
I mean, it was instant roughing. You know, I mean, it was a check. I mean, unless you can say high stick, elbow, how do you rough a guy that runs into you at the blue line?
Yeah, I didn't see it there. Just the big size disadvantage for Vadia, but drawing. And
I want to see the officials missed an elbowing call when the size disadvantage, ringing it off the crossbar and/or the post, was number 20 for the Bulldogs, and out of the zone. Number 20 was Jack Sylvain, who had that shot that rang the iron. Are those Bedford fans to my right that are castling the refs?
Oh, yeah.
I think they've gotten the benefit of the breaks here in this second period. There's a shot by DiPrizio, and again, he can't get good wood on it. He was set up in the low slot. 1 minute to go in the second period and half minute to go in the power play. Bearing in. Good job of cutting down the angle by Lacroix, as number 27, Eric Flynn, had a great opportunity there for the Bulldogs to get the game's fourth goal. Here comes DiPrizio trying to kick it on ahead and keep the puck. 35 seconds left to go.
You know, John, there's plenty of sayings about hockey parents. I don't know how many of them I can repeat on the air.
Yeah, that's true, right? Blocker save by Lacroix, good one. Half a minute to go. 1 second, and now the penalty is up. It's 5-on-5. Harvey comes out of the box. Riley Nutter is waiting to get a breakaway if somebody from South-Pelham could get the puck, but instead, Bedford glove save. Lacroix hangs on.
What a grab. What a job, not only hugging the post, but then reacting to that puck picked up off the ice. And against this Bedford team, the power play is not done until you're able to clear that zone. We've seen it today. They've had the passing advantage down low when they're on the attack. And so for Lacroix, You got to hold on to that, and he does there with the glove save. Again, he makes it look easy.
Well, see, the reason I'm really mad about that roughing call is it messed with my prediction
Oh,
for a
I
goal
know.
by that shift.
So we'll let you off the hook because of the penalty.
Yeah, the unjust penalty, I would say. Nice cross-ice pass, tape to tape. This is Tyler Martin. Martin shot was deflected by the defenseman, Parker Joyce, and the buzzer sounds just as South-Pelham was trying to score the game's first goal. 3-0. Bedford leads it after 2. So South-Pelham has a tough task to bounce back from this situation here, Matt.
Yeah, they're going to need to get something going immediately. You can't give it until the last 6 minutes, the last half of this third period, to at least get your first goal. You got to get something in the first half of the period. Set yourself up for success, at least.
That's Matt Neverett. I'm John Collins. You saw 12 minutes up for the intermission on the scoreboard. I promise you the break will not be that long if you come back with us for third period action. Bedford at South-Pelham here at the Conway on NashuaETV.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Conway Arena in Nashua, New Hampshire. It is the third period of play. John Collins with Matt Neverett. Our cameraman is Tim O'Neill. You're watching NashuaETV as we record this South and North boys hockey doubleheader on a February 3rd of 2018 on the eve of Super Bowl 52. Our usual partner, Tom King, is in Minnesota covering the big game. There's a slapper as South-Pelham tries to come out and get their first goal of the game right out of the box here in the third period.
And we said it heading into the break. They were going to need to be aggressive on the offensive side to try and get something on the board in the first part of this third period, because if it gets to be 3-0 with 6-7 minutes left, it's all but lost for them with the way that they've been almost anemic on offense at times, really only getting chances in spurts and then going a couple of minutes without a scoring chance.
Bedford scored all 3 of their goals in a 5-minute span of the second period, opening the period. 2 of them by Parker Roberto, number 39. Steele. Riley Nutter has it. Fans on the shot.
And that's when you got to look to the middle. There was nothing for him on that near side on the outside.
Kyle Greer trying to win the foot race here, but South-Pelham wins the battle. In front, point blank shot, a follow-up shot, and 2 great saves by Nolan Lacroix.
And Jack Sylvain had that last opportunity on the follow-up with the backhand, picked it up, but Lacroix able to glove it, and we'll get a stoppage in play. And if it gets to 4-0, John, I hate to say it, but it might be all but lost. So a defensive stop here, very important for the Kings as they get it going their opposite way.
Bedford back with it. 15-minute periods in New Hampshire high school boys hockey, and there are 13 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this one for South-Pelham to mount what would be an improbable comeback at this point, but you never know. It starts with 1 goal, and that's what they need. To get 1 goal to get started. Past Connor Lorendo, the goalie for Bedford, who hangs on, freezes the puck. And one of these goals be a controversial goal, as Matt and I noticed the net to our right here had come off its moorings in the second period. One of those 3 goals that Bedford scored. They put the puck, Kyle Greer scored while the net appeared to have been dislodged, but the referees didn't see it. There was a discussion. The goal stood.
Yeah, no replay to go back and change the call. Although you'd like to see that at every level. The budget just not there for high school hockey,
Circling, Jack Sylvain lost the handle, gets it back, and tries to push it into the South-Pelham zone. He does. Back to get it. Joshua Kinghorn around the boards. Cuts back to the middle. Joshua Kinghorn with some nice speed generated through the neutral zone. Dumps it in. And Kinghorn will change up. Riley Nutter changes up. Bedford trying to catch South-Pelham up the ice. Kings get back on defense and get the puck. Nolan Harvey with it. Slides it on ahead. Matt DiPrizio trying to beat the Bedford defense. DiPrizio drops the pass. Shot on goal in front. Pinkston had it for a second, but couldn't make anything of it. Harvey with it near side. Shoots it right back in. Bedford back to get it. DiPrizio on the forecheck. Chance for a steal there. Instead, Bedford coming out with a breakout. All the way around behind the net it goes. To the neutral zone. Bedford with it.
I said it in the first period, John. Not a lot of neutral zone action, and that's really been the theme of the day. Is just a lot of rushes, trying to generate some odd man chances, and just a lot of long passes as well, as we see one go sailing by DiPrizio into the corner to grab it. He gets dispossessed of it. And
yeah, there was an opportunity there as the icing was waved off. Offside.
Oh, Greer just a bit too anxious to get into the zone, and it would have been a good 2-on-1 scoring opportunity, and really took the chance away from his teammate Nate Musgrave there, as Greer just sneaking that foot ahead. Greer will stay on. Musgrave will head off.
Yeah, Musgrave frustrated. He might have had a partial breakaway in alone. He had the speed and the angle going for him. South-Pelham wins the faceoff. Bedford takes the loose puck and blasts it into the offensive zone. Zach Bayer, number 15, with the long shot. South-Pelham back to get it. Stolen. Bedford in the zone. Bayer's shot goes over the net. I don't know if Lacroix got a piece of it and deflected it up over the crossbar, but another dangerous takeaway. Pinkston right on his stick from Harvey, in alone, and was it across the line? What do we have, the net off?
Yeah, looks like it, as it was a great opportunity.
It's only off by 2 inches.
Oh, yeah, they saw that one, right? They saw that one, but for
Yeah.
Pinkston, that's the best chance for South-Pelham in quite some time.
Yeah.
And he had the opportunity and even to follow himself up there, but that net just sneaking off, and now the refs had a watchful eye on it after that debacle earlier.
You know, Lorendo almost slid into his own, the back of his own net there, and allowed the puck to come with him, but the whistle blew.
A goal's a goal, right?
Exactly. In close, trying to feed his teammate Joe Moore, slid it to Tyler Martin, but went through Martin.
It was through the legs, yeah, right through the wickets.
Martin with the ricochet, trying the wrap around centering pass to return the favor to Moore, but it gets deflected up and over to the near corner. Bedford able to skate it out. This is number 20, Jack Sylvain. Sylvain in. Did he get it up and over? Up and over the net. Got to get it up over the shoulder of Lacroix into the net, but went over the cage. Great rush that time by Sylvain down the near boards. Bedford with it. South-Pelham kind of standing around right now. That fatigue that you talked about earlier in the game, Matt, seems to be a factor right now.
Oh, and it's the long shifts, as we've called DiPrizio's name a lot. We've called Nathan Harvey a lot. We've called Pinkston a lot. It's really the same guys doing a lot here for South-Pelham. And for Bedford, a number of guys getting involved in the action offensively and defensively as a result of those short shifts.
Yeah. Well, we got to beware of this Parker Roberto character who needs only one more goal for the hat trick. He is lurking out there, number 39. The shot by Sylvain, directed to the corner by Lacroix. Stolen by Bedford in front. Shot saved by Lacroix as he denied Parker Roberto of his hat trick.
The problem was Roberto went to the 5-hole there. If he would have just stayed on the near side to that blocker side of Lacroix, he would have easily had the hat trick, but he tried to cut it too far back to the right into the 5-hole. And Lacroix, every goal's worst nightmare is having one sneak through your legs. He's able to close up the gap there and keep it at 3-0.
You're right, the opening was there for Roberto. But Lacroix able to clamp down on that shot. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left to go, third period. Riley Nutter taking the draw for South-Pelham. Kicks it back to his defenseman Harvey around the boards to Pinkston, is able to win the puck battle over near side. Nutter in the foot race, pokes it on ahead, but Bedford able to clear. Pinkston, the trailer, has to wait for Nutter to clear. Shoots it back in. This is, or has been, the best line for South-Pelham as far as putting on pressure and developing scoring chances. They desperately need a goal pretty soon, this shift does, if they're going to mount any kind of a comeback against Bedford. Mentioned the records at the start of the game, Matt, and that would seem to say that Bedford could potentially dominate this game, but we'll say it again. You take away those first 5 minutes of the second period, and you're talking about a 0-0 score. Bulldogs had that offensive outburst, and it's been the difference in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Kings, can't turn back time, but if they want to change the outcome, they're going to need to get something going soon, and what a hit in the corner by Pinkston.
Johnny Pinkston, not the biggest player on the ice, but one of the hardest checks of the game. Partial 2-on-1, fanning on the saucer pass. Bayer just went over his stick, fortunately for South-Pelham, as he had the opening.
Just too saucy for him.
Yeah.
And not able. Some guys you see picking it out of the air, and it takes supreme stick work and years of training to accomplish that. And that's the guys you see at the next level.
Eric Flynn, number 27, able to spin it on up to Kyle Greer. Greer inside the blue line before Harvey greets him with a steal and throws it on back out. Returning the favor, the Bulldogs. Had number 5 for South-Pelham is Jacob Guerrero. And apologize, hadn't had that. It was on the, not on the holiday roster, but it was on the roster that public address announcer Bill Thorpe gave me. So number 5 on defense for South-Pelham is Jake Guerrero. Centering pass, great save by LaCroix as he was able to read it.
That would have been 3 for Roberto.
He's been denied a few times by LaCroix since getting those 2 quick goals in the second period. DiPrizio out with it to the middle, trying to beat 2 defenders, still has it, slides one in on Lorendo, makes the save, batted down. Will we have a hand pass?
Looks like it, yeah. We're going to get a face-off coming back in the defensive zone for South-Pelham. So 7:28 to go. Still down by 3 for Bedford. You don't really need to even apply too much pressure on the forecheck. Just kind of get back into your own zone, get in the passing lanes, and not allow any breakaway chances for South-Pelham, because that's what it's going to have to take here late to change up that offensive flow.
Time is on Bedford's side right now, leading 3-0 with 7:28 left to go in the game. South tried to shoot it out after the face-off win, but couldn't do it. The Bulldogs had it in the corner, taken away nicely by Joe Moore. He clears it down the length of the ice. That's going to be icing. Unfortunately, just missed the goal mouth, which would have negated the icing call.
And now after the first 2 periods really flowing, a lot of up and down action, we're starting to see things slow down here. A lot of times you see that in closer games, so kind of a surprise here as both teams starting to get gas a little bit more in terms of the icing on the long passes that are missed.
Johnny Pinkston taking the face-off for South-Pelham. They work it out of the zone before it comes back in. Joshua Kinghorn has it. Circling, throws it up the middle. This is going to be waved off, no icing.
Yeah, tipped on the way down.
Nutter back there trying to take it away from Parker Joyce, the Bedford defenseman, and they are able to do so. Pinkston has it, centering pass intercepted by Bedford and cleared out.
And a good job of reading that situation by the defense and knowing where that pass was going to come. And it takes away a scoring chance. There have not been too many for South-Pelham, and they got to be more careful with their passing over the middle.
Bedford's onside, 2-on-1. Harvey got in the way of it, nearly had an own goal, but it went off the far apron, fortunately. Nolan Harvey, great on defense in this game for South-Pelham, but he has been logging major ice time, and that's got to slow him down a little bit, you would think.
He's done a little bit of everything. He's been taking face-offs, playing on that defensive side.
He just flattened another player and didn't get called for roughing that time. That was Harvey knocking down Kyle Greer. Greer has it, and did he score? He slipped it past LaCroix. He found a sliver of an opening near side, and Kyle Greer has his second goal of the game.
And that's what they call power skating around the net. He came to the near side, and a righty might not have had that good of a look, but he kind of hit it with the toe drag as he was skating around the near side and just able to kind of scoop it up and just past the shoulder of LaCroix. I don't think he even saw it. I know I didn't from all the way up here.
No, there was just the smallest opening. I mean, smaller than a mailbox opening there, and he put it in blocker's side on LaCroix. So 2 goals for Kyle Greer, 2 goals for Parker Roberto.
Assisted by number 15, Zachary Bayer. And number 27, Eric Flynn.
Zachary Bayer and Eric Flynn got assists. That's at least the second assist of the game for Bayer. Puck hits the official.
And as much as we've talked about a slim few number of players doing stuff for South-Pelham, it's really been only a handful of guys for Bedford that have gotten involved in the scoring sheet today. And
right.
Even though it's a 4-0 lead for them.
On this line, I think.
Yeah, really. It's been Greer, Bayer, Flynn. If you take out the 2 Roberto goals, it's just been that first line.
So Roberto's line will go off. Actually, I think Roberto was paired with Greer on the power play a couple of times, but they might be on separate lines. 2 very effective offensive players, a luxury for the Bedford coaching staff to be able to play them on different lines. Taking the face-off for Bedford is Zach Bayer against Matt DiPrizio. Bayer wins it. Bedford putting the pressure on, looking for their 5th goal as the puck slides wide to the left of Nolan Lacroix. DiPrizio with his head up. Nice pass to Joe Moore as he backhands it out of the zone. Slashing at it was Tyler Martin, not able to poke it away from Bedford though, as the teams trade possession in the middle of the ice. Bayer with it. Nice pass on up ahead to Dom Marlowe, number 19, getting some ice time for the Bulldogs. That shot goes wide to the left. Teams are chasing some hits in the middle. Bedford scores! Seizing on the loose puck. It might be an unassisted goal by Zach Bayer, who's just lurking in the mid-slot area. And I don't know if Lacroix really ever saw that one, Matt.
Yeah, just kind of snuck behind the pressure and just kind of found it at his feet at the skates, kicked it around to himself, and had the entire far side on that glove side wide open. And that top line once again striking, and now 5-0. As much as I said a 4-0 score would wrap it up, that one really does it.
Yeah, that seems to be the nail in the coffin, as you would say. 4:50 to go in the game. Zach Bayer will wait the announcement, but that may have been an unassisted goal. Nice snapshot, really hard wrister from only about 10-12 feet away.
And now for South-Pelham, you really just want to score 1 goal. Not that it would make it feel any better in terms of the win, but it would change a lot in terms of the, I guess, the perception of the game heading in, heading home. 5-1 and 5-0, not a seemingly big difference, but especially if you can tack one on at the end like this with only 4:23 to go, it makes you feel slightly different about the game. Still not a great feeling, but against a very, very good team like Bedford, putting up 1 goal is a big difference as opposed to getting shut out.
Yeah, I agree. And congratulations to Dominic Marlowe, number 19 for Bedford, who hasn't logged a lot of ice time tonight, but he got an assist almost right away. There's a nice goal. 2-on-1. And that is a hat trick for Parker Roberto.
Yeah,
pretty goal for Bedford.
Shown the speed, shown the skill, the great stick work, and for Roberto, that was the prettiest of them all. Just going with the backhand, going top shelf with the backhand. That's tough to do. And 4:13 left. It's been an onslaught. And for Bedford, 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second, and then a couple of goals here in one spurt in the third. So it's been goals in bunches for the visitors.
A couple of spurts, that's all it took from the defending Division I champs, the Bedford Bulldogs. And Roberto, who scored those 2 quick goals in the second period, all the scoring opportunities he had, it would have been a surprise to me, Matt, if he didn't get the hat trick.
Yeah, you knew that he would try to find the back of the net one more time, and with the score the way it is and the way that South-Pelham is playing, a little tired, kind of dragging, you figured it'd be a matter of time before he got another chance.
Jack Sylvain got the assist, that key assist on that pretty goal by Parker Roberto for the hat trick. 3.5 minutes left to go. First down to get it will be Matt DiPrizio as the South-Pelham Kings look for that elusive first goal. Loose puck, open net for a second there. Looked like they might have been able to stuff it home, but Bedford cleared around the boards.
And Lorendo delivering a shot to DiPrizio that knocked him down in front of the net. That's called protecting the crease.
Loose puck, Harvey elects to let it bounce off the boards, and he collects it as he plays some keep away from Dom Marlowe around the boards to center ice. Bedford has it. Offside.
Just offside as Man got across just early. That was Musgrave, and stoppage of play with 2:51 to go. Now it's 6-0.
So the United States men's Olympic hockey team has a game against Russia that is at, I believe, starts at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. I want to say, I think it's the Saturday, the 11th. So that's something that if you're a hockey fan and you want to see, I don't know, we're not going to quite look for a miracle on ice, but there are no NHL players.
Yeah.
Maybe former NHL players in U.S. Olympic team.
Yeah, Brian Giunta, one of the guys for Canada.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those former NHL guys. And I think the team that benefits the most from the NHL's decision not to go, and you'll see why here coming up, is Russia. Because they have the KHL, Russian-born players that have elected to leave the NHL in the past to go play in the Continental Hockey League. You've got guys like Ilya Kovalchuk and Pavel Datsyuk, bona fide NHL All-Stars who still could play at a high level, playing for Team Russia. So I think Russia benefited the most out of the NHL's decision to not send their players.
So again, the U.S. is an underdog in that game.
Not quite as much as in 1980, but definitely an underdog nonetheless.
So that's an early call for you hockey fans on a Saturday morning. You can look it up, the Olympic schedule, but just a heads up.
That one will be on NBC for sure. That's one of the blue blood games of the whole Olympic tournament.
Almost in alone, Jack Sylvain. Too much lift on that shot, though, as we have running time here at the Conway Arena due to the score and the third period. A 6-goal advantage for Bedford. And we're probably just going to have one more minute of actual hockey action before the buzzer will sound on this one. So a valiant effort by South-Pelham, but they just didn't have the scoring punch that they needed in this one, Matt.
Yeah, not enough good stick work down near the ice is an offsides call. It just was not able to have the same bounces as the Bedford team. And I think Bedford, as we've seen, a more skilled team this afternoon. But for South-Pelham, they just didn't have the luck near the net. For Bedford, a lot of times on 3 or 4 of those goals, they kind of just found the puck at their stick near the crease and were able to just make the one move to bury it into the back of the net. For South-Pelham, they've had to work a lot harder for their scoring opportunities.
This is the first of a hockey doubleheader here at the Conway on Saturday, February 3rd of 2018. It'll be North hosting Bishop Girton coming up next. We're looking forward to bringing you that game as well. 6-0. Bedford is going to take this one here at the Conway. A game that was 0-0 after 1 period of play. One more chance for the Bulldogs. Saved by Lacroix. He has had a ton of saves in this game.
That'll wrap it up as the clock will wind down. So a 6-0 loss is now final, John.
That's Matt Nevert. I'm John Collins, thanking our cameraman Tim O'Neill and our executive producer Pete Johnson. The final score, Bedford 6 and South-Pelham Kings 0. You've been watching New Hampshire High School boys hockey on NashuaETV.